welcome to
I got a few words that I have to say.
All of God's promises are for you to receive. All you have to do is trust and believe. All of his blessings he wants us to bestow. All of his goodness he wants you to know. You can find them in the good book. All you have to do is take a good look. They flow all about, woven all through. The promises of God are waiting for you. They hold your future, they'll guide your way, comfort and give you strength for the day. All of God's promises are yours to believe, but you must open up your Bible to receive God's promises. Let's get to it.
Okay, so a bit of a different introduction again this morning. And yes, I think you already have realised now what we're talking about today. We're talking about God's promises to us. So first of all, I just wanted to talk a little bit about a certain character in the Bible. So Jesus, as we know, had 12 disciples whom he personally taught during his life on earth. And Jesus made a very special promises to one of the disciples. And I'm going to read about it in the Bible, and it's from the book of Matthew. Okay, so that's in our New Testament, and it's from the book of Matthew, and it's chapter 16, and it's verse 13 to 19. Okay, so that's Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 to 19, and this is what it reads. Jesus went to the area of Caesarea Philippi. He said to his followers, "I am the Son of Man. Who do the people say I am?" They answered, "Some people say you are John the Baptist, others say you are Elijah, and others say that you are Jeremiah or one of the prophets." Then Jesus asked them, "And who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus answered, "You are blessed, Simon, son of Jonah. No person taught you that. My Father in heaven showed you who I am. So I tell you, you are Peter, and I will build my church on this rock. The power of death will not be able to defeat my church. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. The things you don't allow on earth will be the things that God does not allow. The things you allow on earth will be the things that God allows." Okay, fantastic. So that was Jesus talking to his disciples. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions now, okay? So question 1, who answered Jesus's question correctly of who he is?
Simon Peter.
Simon Peter, absolutely. Number 2, what did his answer reveal?
That God had spoken to Peter.
Absolutely. And number 3, what promises did Jesus make to Peter?
He would be the rock on which the church would be built. The church will not be overcome. Peter would be given the keys to the kingdom of heaven, along with the authority to preach the gospel.
Absolutely. So that was a real promise to Peter, wasn't it, from God, that he was going to build his church, and Peter was going to be such a huge part of that. And so just moving on from that, I just want to quickly read again out of this wonderful book, the Bible, from Acts, the book of Acts, which is also in the New Testament, and we're reading from chapter 2, and it's verse 40 to 41, okay, and it reads this. Peter warned them with many other words. He begged them, "Save yourselves from the evil of today's people." Then those people who accepted what Peter said were baptized. And you know, about 3,000 people were added to the number of believers that day. Fantastic. Okay, so Hope, how many people became believers after hearing Peter's words?
3,000.
3,000 people came to know Jesus, to believe him after what they'd heard Peter saying, Peter teaching them about who he was, about who Jesus was. So what does this prove about God's promises, Hope?
That they will come true.
Absolutely, that they will come true. So we just wanted to do a little illustration of that this morning, about how solid God's promises are compared to ours, really. So this is a piece of paper, okay? And so Hope has written a promise on just a piece of paper like this, which, do you want to read that out, Hope?
It says, "I promise I'll let Zach go in the front seat in the car next time we go in the car."
So next time she's promised that Zach's going to be allowed to go in the front seat of the car. Now this is a regular argument that we have getting into the car, probably most days. Who's going to sit in the front seat? So this is Hope's promise. Okay, now when we promise things like this, we can easily break it because we might forget, we might feel a bit differently the next day, we might be a bit annoyed at each other the next day and think, well, I don't want to give him that anymore. So Hope, let's just show what can happen to our promises sometimes. They can very easily be broken. And you know, we can make lots of promises that can just be broken in one simple rip. And that's how flimsy our promises as humans can be, isn't it? But guys, the great news this morning is that in this book, in this wonderful book, the Bible, there are over 7,000 promises from God to us. Nearly, actually, 7,500 promises from God to us. That is just absolutely amazing. And so I'm not sure I could possibly rip that up at all, because they are solid. God's promises are solid, and he doesn't break his promises to us. Even though ours are pretty flimsy like this piece of paper, God is solid, just as they are written in the Bible. And you know, if I had 7,000 pieces of paper, or nearly 7,500 pieces of paper, written with all of God's solid promises on, there is no way I could then, this is only probably about 30 or 40 pieces of paper, and I can't even rip that. So how strong God's promises are is that we cannot tear them apart, because of he sticks to his promises. And do you know, God actually, he makes promises to all believers. He promises that he'll always be with us. He also as well makes specific promises to individual believers. And that's all part of his glorious plan. And we should never ever think that God doesn't want to use our lives, because he does absolutely want to use each and every one of us. So just going back to Peter, Peter was trusted with spreading the good news of Jesus and telling others how they could get saved. And a way to think about it is it was as though he carried the gospel to those who needed to hear about Jesus. In the same way, we can carry our faith to those who don't know Jesus and to those who don't believe. And the Bible, it represents our faith. So we can carry it with us everywhere we go, just like Peter did. He carried his faith and he told people, he told non-believers about Jesus, and they got saved. And we can do exactly the same thing in our lives. Carry our faith, carry God's word, all the truth in here. We can carry it with us around everywhere we go and in all that we do. And so we're just going to see a quick video of how we can do that. Okay, so we all know what time it is now. It's craft time with Hope.
So, as you can see, here I've got a rainbow love hearts bunting. And so what I did today is I got a long piece of ribbon and I put all different colour love hearts on it, and I wrote some of God's promises. So, if you can hold that up for me.
Ooh.
We wrote some of God's promises there on the love hearts. And,
Can you read some of them out?
Yeah, can read some of them out. So the one on the yellow one is, God will love you forever.
God will never leave you.
God will comfort you.
And God will help you.
So there is our bunting. You can put it up in a window, you can put it up on a wall, you can put it up pretty much anywhere, to be honest.
So it's like a rainbow, which is representing God's promises to us, a rainbow of hearts. That is absolutely fantastic. We hope you're able to go away and make something like that at home. Okay, well, that's all from us this morning. Goodbye, goodbye. Take care.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.